Hello YouTube, what's going on? Welcome to my Gotham episode 5 review titled Viper. This episode was probably a really good episode, one of my favorites of the season so far. Um, Episode pretty much about a super drug, and it was super strong, but the energy taken from the drug was taken from calcium by the people's bones. So eventually all the calcium would be gone and they would die from suffocation because their bones would just disintegrate. That's basically the premise of the episode, and that is actually my number one thing, which is kind of rare. I normally like the kind of underlying things, but we're going to talk about underlying things now. So, top five. Number five is Wayne Enterprise Secrets. We learned that Visitech, I think is what it's called, is a subsidiary of Wayne Enterprises, and Bruce does not like that. And the woman that he's talking to at like a charity event says that that's not true. When they're not working with him, but then we see later in the episode, like a couple minutes later, after a huge thing happens, I'll talk about later. Um, this Bruce finds a file of this woman with the Visitech name on top of the paper that she works for him. So Wayne Enterprises is up to something that Bruce isn't liking because he likes the place that his parents set up, not this corrupt place that is now becoming without them. It'll be interesting to see throughout the season how that progresses, how we see the secrets of Wayne Enterprises come forward and see what they are. Okay, so now number four, the Penguin's development in this episode is fantastic. The Penguin becomes his like official name thanks to Sal Maroni. Um, People are calling him Penguin in the restaurant that he's now working for. He says he doesn't like it, and Maroni pretty much goes, "Oh well, tough luck. I like that name. It suits you." So now his name is Penguin. So that's really cool that we get to see this character getting his actual comic book name. I mean, Cobblepot is his comic book name, but like you know what I mean. Like his famous name is Penguin. So that'd be cool to see. And then also developing about Penguin, he opens up to Roni about his true past, um, and then Roni kidnaps Gordon. Like everything, Penguin tells him everything about Gordon, about Fish Mooney, his past, and everything. So Roni then kidnaps Gordon, and Gordon tells Roni what happened, and it was the same thing that Penguin did. So Penguin spared, and now he's like a secret weapon against Falcone. So that's really cool to see how this will kind of progress and how Penguin will be used. Um, so number three, they're fighting inside Falcone's group. In a group meeting, Fishman stands up for Falcone while some guy is like just voicing his opinion and says you pretty much choose him out for it. And Falcone says we can't do this. We need to be unified. And pretty much what they're doing, as we see later in the episode, that they're doing that to show Falcone, try to convince Falcone that they're not working together to overthrow him, which they are. When we also see that girl from last episode again, um, we see Rooney training her to kind of be seductive, teaching her how to sing, a bunch of other things, and then we see at the end of the episode that she's been trained to seduce Falcone, to kind of um, kill him from the inside, basically. So it'll be cool to see how that progresses too. And then finally, number two, one of the better things in the episode, my cool favorite thing, early on in the episode, we see Bruce, like, he has this bulletin board, like the Flash does, trying to find out who killed his dad, or killed his mom, prove his dad's innocence. We see that Bruce trying to piece together and find out how Gotham works, and Alfred does not like this at all until the end of the episode, where we have the Viper drug being aeroslated. It has to be, aerosol drug has to be inhaled for it to take effect, and the villain ends up pumping it into the place, into the charity event that I talked about earlier, and tries to kill him all that way. Alfred ends up running out and finds out all this stuff about Wayne Enterprises, and so then Alfred kind of sits down and starts opening a bunch of folders and helping Bruce. So that's really cool to see that now Alfred's seeing why Bruce is doing what he's doing. Um, It'll be cool to see how their relationship now starts to grow now that Bruce is having help from Alfred, and now that Bruce is also opening up to Alfred. He's accepting breakfast, going on walks with Alfred. So even though they've kind of had a rough relationship the past couple episodes, we will get to see it grow and flourish. That's really cool to see. And then finally, my number one thing is the actual drug Viper. Um, the company that's making it was their first batch. Viper was their first batch of this super drug made for super soldiers. Of course, it had a very terrible side effect of, killing people by suffocation and deteriorating their bones. Um, but it was mentioned at one point in the episode, where there was a second batch, of more stabilized form of Viper called Venom. Now, if you know Batman comic book universe, you know who Bane is. And if you know who Bane is, you know that he uses typically the drug called Venom to give him his super strength. So that's really cool that we're going to be able to see Venom possibly later, or possibly even Bane. Might just be a little teaser, like, oh yeah, haha, here's a little Easter egg, but it might be an actual thing they're going to incorporate Venom and Bane into this show. So that will be really, really cool to see if they actually do that. So kind of a short review. It was a good episode overall. I did like it. I'm going to start giving rates for episodes out of 5, and I give this one a solid 3.5. Arkham was definitely a 4.5. We haven't had an outstanding 5. Pilot would be a 4.5. Episode 2 Stanley Cobb would probably be a 3.5. Episode 3 would probably be a 3 because it was the best. I don't like that much. Number 4, Arkham would be a 4.5. This one would be a 3.5. So until next time, I've been Epic Gamer. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, and tune in for more Gotham, Flash, and Arrow reviews, and more episodes of Super Mario 64 as we are wrapping that up very soon, and Pokemon White version 2 as we're about halfway done through that game. So until next time, God bless. See you guys.